Veerasammy Permaul's journey from a young boy in Guyana to an international cricketer is a story of hard work, dedication, and foresight. Born in a small town in Guyana, where cricket is more than just a sport, it is a way of life, Permaul's early years weren't easy. Like many aspiring athletes, he came from modest beginnings and had to work incredibly hard to get noticed. His dream of becoming a cricketer wasn't always a clear path, and he faced numerous challenges along the way. Cricket in Guyana, as in many parts of the Caribbean, was fiercely competitive. Permaul, like many young boys, began playing in local leagues, aiming to prove himself among hundreds of talented players. But getting a spot in the West Indies team was no easy feat. While many of his peers struggled to make the leap from domestic cricket to the international scene, Permaul kept his focus on honing his skills. He didn't have the immediate support or sponsorship that many others might have had. Instead, he had to rely on sheer talent and determination, despite facing the pressure of being one of many talented spinners vying for a place in the West Indies squad. Permaul's persistence eventually paid off. After years of consistent performances in domestic cricket, he was called up to play for the West Indies. His journey, however, wasn't a fairy tale. He had to fight for his position in a team that was full of star players. There were moments when he doubted his place in the team, feeling overshadowed by other prominent names in the cricketing world. But what set Permaul apart was his ability to keep pushing forward. His resilience wasn't just seen in his bowling, but in his approach to life, an approach that would soon make him not just a cricketer, but a savvy businessman. While cricket was his passion, Permaul's vision extended far beyond the field. He was already thinking about the future that didn't rely solely on his career as a cricketer. Unlike many athletes who focus entirely on their performance on the field, Permaul began to think about his long-term financial security. He knew that no career, especially in sports, was guaranteed, and that realization pushed him to start planning early. While other players were busy spending their money on cars, houses, and lavish vacations, Permaul began to take a different route. He focused on making investments that would pay off in the future. His journey to financial freedom didn't begin with major high-profile moves. Instead, he started with simple, practical steps. The first of these was real estate. It wasn't the most glamorous investment, but it was one that would prove to be foundational for Permaul's wealth. He began buying property in Guyana and abroad, focusing on acquiring land in areas that were likely to appreciate in value over time. His decision to invest in real estate wasn't just a way to store his money. It was a long-term strategy to secure his financial future. Over time, the value of these properties grew, and Permaul's wealth began to quietly expand. At this point, Permaul wasn't drawing attention to his financial moves. He wasn't out there posting on social media about his latest purchase or luxury car. He remained humble and grounded, focusing on the future instead of immediate gratification. This quiet, behind-the-scenes approach to building wealth would become a hallmark of his success. While many of his fellow cricketers were focused on enjoying the rewards of their careers in the moment, Permaul was focused on building something lasting. Though the public didn't know it yet, his investments were starting to grow at an impressive rate. As Permaul's cricket career progressed, so did his financial journey. His decision to invest in real estate had been a sound one, but Permaul knew that in order to build long-term wealth, he needed to diversify. He couldn't rely solely on property. The key to securing his financial future lay in expanding his investments to other areas. But unlike many athletes who invest haphazardly or follow the latest trend, Permaul approached his investments with a calm, measured strategy. While many professional athletes focus on spending their earnings, Permaul had a different mindset. He wasn't about instant gratification. His approach to wealth was about making smart, strategic decisions that would pay off in the long run. So, after building a solid foundation in real estate, he began looking into other opportunities, particularly in stocks and shares. He didn't dive in blindly. Instead, Permaul educated himself on the stock market, learning about how it worked and which companies were the best prospects for investment. This wasn't a common move for many cricketers. At the time, Most athletes stick to physical assets, like property or cars, but Permaul understood that in order to truly build wealth, he needed to diversify his portfolio. His decision to invest in the stock market was just the beginning of his foray into the world of business. At the time, it wasn't the obvious path for an athlete, especially one from a cricketing background where financial management isn't always a priority. But for Permaul, it made perfect sense. His real estate investments had grown, and now it was time for his wealth to grow in different areas. His investments in stocks and shares began to yield impressive returns, and his wealth began to grow exponentially. But what was most fascinating about Permaul's journey wasn't just that he was earning money from his investments, it was the way he kept it all under wraps. While many athletes boast about their financial achievements, Permaul remained low-key. He didn't need to show off. His goal wasn't to be famous for his wealth. It was to build something lasting that would secure his future. This focus on security and stability rather than fleeting fame would soon become his greatest strength. As his wealth grew, Permaul expanded his investment portfolio even further. He ventured into the world of tech investments, something few cricketers ever consider. In one of his most strategic moves, he invested in a technology company that was just starting to gain traction. This investment, over time, turned out to be one of the best financial decisions of his career. The tech company experienced a rapid rise in value, and Permaul's shares became worth millions. This unexpected success pushed his wealth to new heights and solidified his position as one of the most financially astute cricketers in the world. The tech industry wasn't the only place where Permaul's investments flourished. He also began to invest in various businesses, from startups to established companies. He made sure to spread his investments across different sectors, minimizing the risks and maximizing the potential for growth. His wealth continued to grow, and though the public was still unaware of the full extent of his financial success, Permaul was quietly becoming one of the wealthiest ex-cricketers out there. Throughout this period, Permaul's mindset remained focused on long-term sustainability, not short-term gains. He avoided the traps that many athletes fall into: the flashy lifestyle, the spending sprees, the indulgence in luxury for the sake of status. Instead, he kept his eye on the future, carefully selecting ventures that had the potential to appreciate over time. By diversifying his investments into real estate, stocks, and tech, he ensured that his wealth would continue to grow no matter what happened to his cricket career. At the same time, Permaul's approach to wealth wasn't about taking wild risks. While others may have been tempted to invest in high-risk ventures or gamble with their money, Permaul remained calculated in his decisions. He wasn't interested in getting rich quick. He wanted to build a foundation that would support him for decades. His wealth-building strategy was deliberate, and it was working. Over time, the income from his investments far outpaced what he was earning as a cricketer. But it wasn't just about the money for Permaul. His investments were also a way of ensuring his future would be secure, and that his family would benefit from his success. He was creating a financial safety net that would allow him to retire comfortably without relying solely on the earnings from his cricket career. In fact, by the time he reached the peak of his cricketing career, his investments were already outpacing his earnings from playing. It was this forward-thinking strategy that allowed Permaul to step away from the game when the time was right, knowing that he had built something more valuable than just fame. Legacy of wealth. While many athletes struggle with managing their wealth after their careers end, Permaul's financial success post-cricket is a perfect example of how planning and strategic investments can lead to long-lasting financial freedom. Most people wouldn't expect a cricketer to become a millionaire businessman, but Permaul defied expectations. His story proves that with the right mindset and smart decisions, anyone can create a successful business empire. Regardless of their profession, by the time Permaul's cricketing career came to an end, he had built a fortune far beyond what anyone could have imagined. His investments in real estate, stocks, tech, and businesses had paid off in ways he couldn't have predicted. His wealth was no longer just a byproduct of his cricket career. It was the result of years of careful planning, smart decisions, and strategic investments. Today, Permaul lives a life that many people only dream of. He owns multiple properties across the globe, including luxury homes in some of the world's most prestigious locations. His collection of luxury cars is the stuff of legend, and he travels in style, often flying privately or enjoying exotic vacations in far-flung destinations. It's a life that most people wouldn't associate with a cricketer, let alone one from a small town in Guyana. But for Permaul, it's the result of years of hard work and strategic decisions. What's most impressive about Permaul's lifestyle is that he doesn't flaunt it. He doesn't feel the need to show the world how wealthy he is. While many athletes post every new purchase or vacation on social media, Permaul continues to live a relatively low-key life, despite his financial success. He's not trying to impress anyone, he's simply living the life he's worked hard for. But even with all the wealth and luxury, Permaul remains grounded and humble. He hasn't forgotten where he came from, and continues to give back to his community, supporting causes that are close to his heart. Through charitable foundations and social initiatives, Permaul ensures that his success benefits those who need it most. He supports young cricketers, offering them opportunities that he never had growing up. He knows that his success is about more than just himself. It's about creating opportunities for others. It's this humility and generosity that makes Permaul not just a wealthy man, but a respected figure in both the cricketing world and the business world. Permaul's generosity doesn't stop at charity. He has made it a point to educate and mentor young athletes, particularly those in the cricketing world, showing them the importance of financial literacy and the value of making smart investments early in their careers. His story proves that wealth is not just about earning money, but about how you manage and grow it. He shares his experiences with up-and-coming cricketers, teaching them how to plan for the future and avoid the financial pitfalls that many athletes fall into. One of the most powerful aspects of Permaul's legacy is the example he has set for the next generation of cricketers. He didn't just excel on the field. He used his success as a springboard for something bigger. His story is proof that, with the right mindset and strategy, athletes can build wealth that goes far beyond their time in the spotlight. While most athletes focus on enjoying the fame and fortune of their careers, Permaul was thinking about the future all along. His legacy isn't just about cricket, it's about what he's done with his wealth and the opportunities he's created. For others, as Permaul's wealth continued to grow, so did his influence in the business world. He didn't just stop at sports investments. He branched out into various industries, including tech, retail, and hospitality. His investments weren't just about making money, they were about making a difference. His businesses were designed to create jobs, empower communities, and improve lives. And as his empire grew, so did his reputation as a businessman. People began to look at Permaul not just as a cricketer, but as a successful entrepreneur who had figured out the formula for financial success. Today, Permaul is a role model for those looking to build wealth, whether they're athletes or not. His approach to financial security is simple yet powerful. Plan for the future, diversify your investments, and always be thinking long-term. His story is a testament to the idea that true success isn't about short-term fame or quick wins. It's about creating something that lasts. His wealth, built from years of smart investments, is now a part of his lasting legacy. The properties he owns, the businesses he's built, and the knowledge he's shared will continue to have an impact long after he's left the cricket field. Permaul has proven that, while cricket might have been his first love, his true passion lies in building a lasting legacy, one that will provide for his family, his community, and the generations to come. And while Permaul now enjoys a lifestyle that many would consider unattainable, he has never forgotten his roots. He continues to invest in his community and remains an active supporter of various social causes. His story is not just about the wealth he's accumulated, but about how he's used that wealth to make a difference in the lives of others. His approach to life, modest, humble, and focused on the long term, serves as an inspiration to anyone looking to build wealth, regardless of their background. In conclusion, Permaul's legacy will not just be about his cricketing achievements. It will be about the empire he built, the investments he made, and the legacy of financial security he created for his family and the community. He has shown us that true success is not just about the fame you achieve in the moment, it's about the wealth and opportunities you create for the future, and that is what makes his story so remarkable. Permaul's life reminds us that no matter where you come from or what field you work in, building wealth requires patience, strategy, and a long-term mindset. It's about making decisions today that will secure your future and create opportunities for those who come after you. His story isn't just one of financial success, a blueprint for building a life of lasting wealth, security, and legacy. Permaul's story teaches us that wealth isn't just about what you earn in the moment. It's about making smart, long-term decisions and using that wealth to create a lasting legacy. Build wisely, invest strategically, and the future will reward you.